and welcome back to Made by She. And in today's session, let's talk about quizzes of Gen AI Academy by Google Cloud Run, which is in partnership with Hack to Skill. The quiz over here is Accelerate AI with Google Cloud Run, APAC. So it is a mandatory quiz. So let's take the quiz for now. The deadline for it is August 30. So hurry up and just finish the quiz and understand those questions before filling up those options. So let's click onto this. So you just need to start the quiz. The time for this is just 30 minutes. Criteria for passing is 60%. So you will be getting 3 attempts to finish this quiz. So let's just start the quiz without further delay. So here it says an AI developer wants to build and run an interactive agent using Google's Agent Development Kit, ADK. Which set of classes represent the standard workflow to configure the agent, wrap it as an application and run conversation session. So for this, you'll be using LLM agent, app and runner, right? So the option for it is the first option A, and after which you just need to click next. So now, why is it architecturally better to use an ADK function tool to retrieve menu items rather than pasting the entire menu dataset directly to the agent's system instructions? So if you put an entire dataset in the system instruction, it consumes excessive prompt tokens, right? So every single query, so it increases the latency and also it causes the dataset scales. So the exact option for this would be option C. Question 3. When deploying a Python-based Streamlit application using gcloud run deploy source without providing a custom Docker file or proc file, how does Cloud Run successfully compile and deploy the container? Cloud Run runs a generic server image that interprets all coding languages at the same time. I don't think that would be appropriate. Cloud Run uses Google Cloud build packs under the hood to automatically analyze the directory. That seems appropriate and detects the Python files and requirements.txt. It builds a secure runtime container. So this would be an option over here. Let's just also look into the other options. Cloud Run executes the application inside Cloud Shell and proxies the traffic. I don't think that's correct. Streamlit automatically generates and pushes custom Docker file to artifact registry before deployment. Neither does it seems to be true. So let's just click onto this option B. Following the principle of least privilege, why is it recommended to deploy Cloud Run agent service with a dedicated custom service account? Example like Barista agent rather than default compute engine service account. So custom service accounts are billed at a lower rate for API calls, is it? I don't think so. The default compute engine service account is blocked from calling external endpoints like Vertex AI, Gemini API. That doesn't sound right. Read the option 3. The default service account possesses a broad project editor permission, which poses a major security risk if the application is compromised. So we'll be using a dedicated service account which restricts access to only necessary APIs. So rather than using a default service account, we'll be using dedicated service account. So this is the most appropriate among all the options. Question 5. Which transitioning from local mock JSON database like menu.json to a managed Google Cloud Production database, which is serverless, document oriented, and no SQL option provides a real-time dynamic menu updates without redeploying your associated Cloud Run container. So which would be the appropriate option for this? Cloud Bigtable? No. Cloud Storage and BigQuery? I don't think so. So for this, the appropriate option would be Cloud Firestore. Question 6. What is the primary limitation of relying Streamlit's st.session state to manage conversation history of an ADK agent? So st.session automatically synchronizes conversation across different users' browser? No. While coming to this option, it text messages and can't handle raw JSON responses? I don't think so. That wouldn't be an appropriate option for this too. ADK runners can't interface with Streamlit's local state. Would that be right? I don't think so. So the correct option would be option B. While coming to this, in Lab 2, how did the developers prevent BigQuery ADK agent from retrieving excessively large data sets when using BigQuery MCP server tool? So we haven't implemented Lab 2 yet, but you can understand the situation right here, right? It says developers prevent BigQuery ADK agent from retrieving excessively large data sets, anything over 50 rows. How would that be appropriate? So for it to work, the system instructions in the user prompt included context constraints. So for exactly 3 coffee trucks, it would work. So guiding the model to logically use SQL limit clause in its generated queries would be appropriate. So option B is the right option here. Question 8. So which best practice is explicitly defined in the BigQuery ADK data agent system instructions, which is used to verify SQL query syntax and prevent execution errors too. So which we'll be using restricting the agent to execute queries only on a small or hard-coded local databases would be appropriate. The right option for this would be instructing the agent to always use dry run to verify SQL correctness before calling execute SQL to save time. So this would be right option here. So click onto it. Next, question 9. In here, when building a background inventory monitoring agent, as in lab 3, which we haven't done, and we will do it soon, which Google Sheet API method are used by the tools to read current inventory values and update stock sales. The right option for this is values.get and values.update. And the last question, what is a primary architectural purpose of implementing a human in the loop HITL pattern in background running AI agents? It is basically used to ensure that agent pauses and obtains explicit human approval before executing. So it can be executing critical business actions, right? So it needs human approval before doing all such stuff. It would include writing to inventory databases or placing orders which are crucial. So the right option is option B. So that's it. I'm gonna submit it. Let's see how much we have scored. Approximately we took 10 minutes for 10 questions. Just submit it. So submit quiz. It says 10 out of 10.